I'm Joleen.
I'm so excited to have Joleen back on the channel. It's been way too long. She's here to talk episode 14, the double eviction that we just watched of Celebrity Big Brother. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, please. And welcome. Hi, Joleen. How are
Hi,
you?
friend. Oh my gosh, I'm so good. I'm so excited every time we get to collaborate together, and it feels like too long, but this season just flew by.
Well, it is short.
I
And
know.
it was a bit miserable. So I think I blocked
Yeah.
half of it out. Real excited that this is the end. Are you as excited this is the end?
I am, but I'll tell you, I have a special place in my heart for Celebrity Big Brother, and I want it to always come back. Even when it's bad, it's good because it gives us something in between our Big Brother in the summer. I know we have BB Can coming up, season 10, which I'm really excited for, but there's just
Right.
something so great about Celebrity, and I tend to thrive in because I love to just be so silly with it and do all the impressions and just parodies. So I really don't have to know a lot of strategy because nobody in the game knows strategy. So it's
They're
perfect
not,
for me.
yeah, they're not doing it. What are you talking about? You're right. It is perfect for you. You love
Mhm.
to talk about, celebrities and Bravo and that kind of stuff. This is right up your alley.
Yes, but I do understand that for, the Big Brother fan who loves strategy like Sarah and like a lot of people who watch, this isn't the best. It's entertaining, but we had contestants this season who didn't know anything.
We did early on, we had the potential
Yes.
for like I don't need a ton. I don't need masterminds in my celebrities.
Mhm.
Two people who know how to play the game, that's fine. And we almost had it. We almost had it, but
Yep.
unfortunately, we had some gullible people who made choices, and here we are. So
Here we
let's just
are.
get to that end. All right, well, let's talk about this double eviction. We're coming from last night's episode where we saw that Todrick won HOH. It's really become like the three of Todd, Lamar, and Cynthia versus Todrick and Misha. And Todrick put up Lamar and Todd on the block. But then we see tonight, most of us knew from the feeds that Todd pulled out a veto win. Todd and his booty do. Now, this is a new phrase to me. Are you aware of a booty do?
No. I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
This
I
is
don't think
new
so.
to me. Thank you, Lamar. You're teaching me so many things, Lamar. But Todd's going to pull this out they're all in adorable little Speedos. Sure. We're going to slowly push ourselves. What is this comp? What is this? Why are we sitting on a body? Why are we like pushing? There was so much waiting and moving slow. I'm not sure this was actually a comp.
Yeah, I still don't really get it. I didn't even understand. It took me, I had to keep going back as much as it would let me go back on live TV to understand how Todd beat Misha. Because Misha hit
Mm-hmm.
it first, but then she took off before him. So I guess that's science or math or something. But
A little bit of both. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was, but you know what? We got Todd in that suit. So
Yeah.
win.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And we got a cute little wave
Oh
when
yeah, he was
Todd
like,
eliminated Todrick. Bye.
bye,
He said
bye.
bye-bye. And that was great. And I love it. So what they didn't show us in this edit was that Todrick thought he could convince Todd not to use the veto on him.
He thought he was going to get a Marcellus situation from RBB, or he was going to get a Jed situation from BB Can last season. And luckily, Todd was like, I mean, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not
He's
going to
like,
do it.
He's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't trust y'all at all. And nor should he.
No, he shouldn't.
No.
Mm-mm.
And then Todrick was like, look, if the vote is tied though, like it falls on me. So if you are going to take yourself down, you need to vote out Lamar with Misha. And Todd was like, no, buddy, your job, you do it.
I love that Todd stood firm in that because it
Right?
wouldn't surprise me if someone this season was like, okay, yeah, totally, I'll do that for you. But no, Todd has been riding with Lamar. Lamar has been so kind to Todd in that he's even said, I will go. Todd needs this more than I do. And so it would have broke my heart to see Todd give into that. I mean, it
Mhm.
took Cynthia, Todd, and Lamar a little too long to figure
Well,
out that they probably should have joined forces a lot sooner to take
yeah.
down this power duo that's just winning everything, convincing people, that Shayna is somehow the one they should turn against when she just used the POV on them. I mean, so I was happy that Todd was like, no, I'm voting to keep Lamar,
Yeah.
and you have to be the one to break the tie. You have to stand up in front of him
Yeah.
and vote him out.
He was like, "That is your job. You are the HOH." And of course,
Mhm.
Todrick was so, how dare he? How dare he?
Now he can't
Just
come to our final four. He's not invited.
oh no. Well, Todd's heartbroken. No, I
Mhm.
wish they had shown that because that was really, really fun to see. But
I wonder
we're
why
gonna,
they didn't, because that is a big, like, it would have been a big strategic move had he gotten away with it. And it's something we have
mhm,
seen in Big Brother before. So I feel like there was so much filler and so many commercial breaks. We could have
was
had a great
so much
scene
filler.
of
Yeah,
that.
it's like, what is all this filler? And then no game whatsoever.
I'm pretty sure like everybody knows about young Sheldon now. So we don't need 19 commercials
We
about young
don't.
Sheldon. We
That's
don't.
fair. I don't think so. So Todd is going to remove himself, obviously, as he should, and Todrick's going to put up the only person that he can, which is Cynthia. How many times could he say we got to go back to the drawing board? I was like, there's one name on the board. What are we going back to? No. Okay.
Seriously.
So Cynthia's up there, and I think they said some speeches, some things happened, but we are going to get this fantastic tie. Misha's going to vote out Cynthia, or Lamar, sorry, and Todd's going to vote out Cynthia. And so Todrick now has to stand up and do the thing and vote out Lamar, but with a somewhat shady speech.
Very shady because he's like, Cynthia, I care about you as much as I can possibly care about a person, which isn't that much when it's not me or Misha or the medicine balls upstairs. So,
Mhm.
you've made this house great, but that means I have to vote Lamar out. And Lamar was just like, you didn't need to do all that.
You didn't, though.
No.
You
Mm-mm.
didn't. I mean, first off, Lamar was like, "Wait, was that me?" Like,
Yeah.
you twisted your words, and oh, you said me? Like, it was very confusing for a second, but like, why? What was that about? I don't.
What was the reason? Yeah, we needed that Cardi B meme. What was the reason? What was the reason? But for real, I mean, he made it into like a riddle. I think Todrick, the problem with Todrick, well, there's a laundry list, I'm
You got a
sure.
list? Yeah.
But I mean, go to Twitter, Todrick exposed. But I think he could have been so fun. You're giving us Broadway, you're giving us, singing, dancing, heeled
Yes.
Crocs, but everything he does that he thinks is going to be cute or entertaining isn't, because it is, you know, uh, uh, it's under this gross umbrella of how bad his behavior's been, and it just seems personally like he's attacking people. Even that seemed real shitty.
Right. And like Lamar of all people, you can't even come to me and say like Lamar came for you. Like you were defending yourself or getting someone back. Like
He tried though,
no.
because he's been on the feeds, saying that Lamar and Todd are homophobic, and I just
Yeah.
every time I see Lamar hug him, kiss him, same thing with Carson, I'm like, wow, the homophobia is crazy.
Right? Oh, it's so crazy.
And then
It's
he goes
just
on to say, tell Todd, Todrick just makes no sense, because
he
in one
doesn't.
breath, they're homophobic, they're hateful, they're this, they're that. And the next breath, I hate straight guys. And then the next breath, it's like, Todd, I haven't been able to be around a lot of straight guys. And I feel like you have been, as a straight Black man, I've learned so much from you. And it's like, what?
Right.
What?
I hope somewhere deep down inside you there's like an ounce of truth, but
Mhm.
I feel like it's just because he's on television and he had to come up with something kind to
Yeah.
say. Uh, I
I
mean,
feel
at
like
least
maybe,
he came up with something kind instead of shady
do you
constantly.
think, Sarah, he doesn't realize all the stuff. Do you think he's like one of those people who forgets all the crap he talks and then
Oh, yeah.
he then says nice stuff and it's like, "Oh, did I say that about him? I don't remember."
Yeah, I think he's like one of the most not self-aware people, right? The least
Mhm.
self-aware person because he does a lot of that like I would never. I said nothing to you. I walked into this room, I said nothing and you told me my laugh was fake. I did. He's like starts from the place of like I would never when we
Mhm.
have the receipts that you absolutely do and have. So I
We have the
think
live
he
feeds.
doesn't know.
What sign is he, Sarah?
He's an Aries, and I'm sorry, but he's 100% an
Well,
Aries.
Chel's an Aries, and I don't feel like he's like that at all, but maybe that's because his moon is something different.
Exactly. So you
Mm,
have Aries, which are
mhm,
just born self-absorbed. That's their innate thing. But
okay.
if you have something to balance that, as most people do, they'll have like a water sign, which is compassionate, or earth sign, which is just grounding, and they'll think before they speak. Something like that. Most people are a bit more balanced, but he's probably like a Leo moon and a rising Aries as well, and just doesn't have anything to balance that, I would guess. I would love to do his chart, honestly,
Oh, we gotta find out. I
because
would love for you to do it, and I wanna hear all about it and just be right here, not
yeah,
knowing what I'm talking about, but
yeah.
listening and
You
learning.
would love it though. You'd be like, "Yes, that." Yeah, Chantel and I, we talk about this stuff, like, on, text, and we're just like, "What is his chart?"
It's
It's a Leo
baffling.
moon, I'm sure, like, we just make stuff up. But yeah, it's,
I love it.
he's all into himself. All right. Well, Lamar is going to leave us at this point, and I am so excited to talk to you about this because w- I just got like so many feels when he said that he and Todd talked about being sober, and Todd is going to be his sober coach. Jolene, I love
Well,
this.
as a sober person, I mean, I think I was so excited for Todd and Lamar to be in this house because I think these kind of stories are so important to be told. And, addiction and the disease of addiction is still so stigmatized in society, and people are they still weaponize it against you. Same with mental health. So the more we hear these stories, and Todd Bridges had such a past
Mm,
and has seen so many things and been through so much. And I was just so looking forward to hearing him talk about that. And I got to, hear a lot. And it
mhm,
didn't surprise me why him and Lamar bonded. I think, if you are an addict, a lot of times, you've been through some stuff. And
mhm.
so I thought that was really beautiful. And I'm glad that they were able to support each other in the house. And I'm glad that, he found someone. Like, you didn't need to win. He won another way because it does seem
Right.
like, just from what Lamar has said, sobriety is very important to him. And so I love to hear it.
Yes.
I honestly, when Lamar got evicted, I got kind of emotional because we're never going to find anyone in this house who's like the perfect house guest. Everyone's going to say something, do something. We're not going to like
Sure.
it. But there are those house guests. I feel like Lamar is one of them. I feel like his heart is good
Mhm,
and it just comes off, and he has such a crazy story and he's had so much loss. And to
mm,
hear him, some people get annoyed with it, I don't. He's looking back at his life, and I understand that, with making amends of the things you've done in the past and looking to Chloe in that relationship. And he's
mhm,
just being fully honest and vulnerable and saying, like, I miss this girl, I wish I wouldn't have done what I did. He's shooting
mhm.
his shot a little bit, but also, putting it out there that she's a great girl, I screwed that up.
Yeah.
So and Lamar has always been someone in that house who I feel like he was like, no, no, Chris Kirkpatrick, no, no. You know how you said we were on a team? No, no, I'm not on your team. I'm on
Yeah,
Lamar's team, And I
yeah,
will miss him going, talk, 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 talk. I mean, that alone, and just the way he checks people ever
yeah.
so
Oh,
subtly.
yeah.
He
Because he
is
seems like
wonderful.
he's coming from a genuine place, right? He feel like you
Mhm.
said, like, his heart is big, and so when he just says something honestly of like, "Yeah, I was trying to vote Misha out there last second," you're just like, "Yes, thank you." And when
And she's
Todrick's
like,
like, "Why are
I
you supporting a white girl?" And he's like, "What does color have to do with it?" And he's like, "No, no, no, it doesn't." "Well, then why'd you bring it up?" It's just like, yes, Lamar just says things, but from a genuine place And that's why he's just so adorable and wonderful. And yeah, I'm so glad to see that he's on some sort of healthy path. You
Yeah.
know, he's like still living.
He is who he is, and he's
Yeah.
unapologetic. Well, I mean, he's a little apologetic of his past, but I mean, he's not trying to put on some facade. He's not trying to be something he's not. He's trying to be Lamar Odom, whatever that means to him personally. And I
Mhm.
really appreciated that, and I respect him for that. So I didn't know I'd get sad. I was like, Lammy, no, no, Lammy, don't
Yeah.
leave. Don't
I
leave, Lammy.
know. I'm so sad to leave. I mean, and to lose him, and I can't believe, like, because he was playing the game, like, this much, and but still, I was like, "I want him in the final 2. Give him the win, I don't care." Like,
I
he's so
know.
lovely. Well, I'm happy for him and Todd, and I hope that, the sober coach relationship, whatever that is,
It's so
turns out to
important.
be a wonderful
Yes.
thing.
And I think it's so important and that they could find that with each other. And it's, I mean, it's a great source of help when you're, trying to remain sober. So love it.
Yay. All right. Well, let's play an HOH. They're now like, oh my God, it's double eviction. Let's do this. Uh, well, I didn't even write down what comp this was, and it feels like 2 hours ago. Was this the booth that went on and on forever? Oh my God, it was.
Yep.
What were they doing? Oh, the movie
The
posters?
movies. And trying to pick out which movie they were describing, the first person to pick it
Like
out.
Todd takes a lead.
He was really
Misha's
good
gonna
at
get a
first.
couple, but then Cynthia's gonna get a couple. And then Todd was like jumping the gun and starts missing a bunch. And we're tied. Everyone's got 2, and we're down to the last question. I was like, this is so stressful. And
hmm
Misha, of course, wins it.
I was at first just like, get it, Todd, heartburn bridges, like
Yes.
heart, like to blood pressure bridges, all the stuff that he's got going on. I loved it. And then, just like you said, he was jumping the gun and he would be like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And he really wanted it, but he was more focused on being the first one to ring in than actually being
Yeah.
right. But he is, he's an actor. He's got an eye for that stuff. He's been on tons of movie posters and things. So I feel like he really, if he just would have given it a second more, he
Just a
could have figured it
second.
out.
Yeah, he might have had a couple of those. He just really got too into it. I love like he narrates as he goes. He's celebrating as he goes. Speaking of signs, he's a true Gemini, like constantly talking. Like they're like, and then I'm gonna narrate the next thing that I'm gonna do because we're just gonna always keep talking. But I love it because it throws Misha. She's
Oh,
like,
it does. And she hates it because she's called that out on the feeds and been like, "You talk too much." All the while, Todrick is her best friend. I'm like, Todrick talks more than Todd even, but
yeah,
she's like, "He
there's some
says
talkers.
interesting stuff." Yeah, but I thought Todd had it. And then when Cynthia was coming up, I was like, I'll take either. I'll take either or. This
Yeah,
will be
right?
great."
Could
Yeah,
you imagine a Cynthia HOH?
I
Never would have guessed it.
no, never.
I
And
mean,
she would have been so happy, and she would have been like,
yeah.
"Mike Hale, did you see it, Mike? Mike Hale?" Just calling out to her husband all the time. I love it.
Did this save their marriage? Is this it?
Oh God. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with their marriage. I hope he's nice to her. She deserves someone nice. But if not, I will say she took extra opportunity to give Todd Bridges all the hugs and the kisses on the cheek. And I know they had their one fight, but
Yes.
that was her first crush, her first love.
Yeah.
Maybe this is gonna, he'll be Lamar's sober coach and Cynthia's next husband. We don't know. We don't
I
know.
mean, lovers fight. It
Yeah,
happens.
they do.
So maybe that's the way it'll go. But no, Misha's going to win this. And so obviously we know these noms are going to be Todd and Cynthia. But it all comes down to the veto, guys. This is not it. Because if either of those nominees win veto, Todrick has to go up. There's no other option. And they will vote him out. There was that opportunity. But this veto required you to know your day.
Oh, it was so heartbreaking because I'm thinking just on the feeds I've been watching Misha and Todrick last night. I think it was. She was like, "Should we go up? We should probably, do the days again." He's like, "Let's go up to the
Mhm.
room," and they went up to the HOA and they're doing the days, and I was like, "Crap!" And then Cynthia's like, there were days, and then Todd is like, I'm pretty good at throwing balls, so hopefully I can get it. And they had no clue. Everyone they got was based on luck. And Misha and Todrick were like 17, 20,
Yeah.
26, day 30. And Cynthia was like, is it Tuesday? Like she had no idea what was
No.
going on.
She was like, this happened while we were here. Todd was like, it was vaguely around this week, maybe that happened. Yeah. No, I figured we were doomed as soon as I saw it was a days thing because Misha and Todrick are the only ones in the house that have even
Shayna was
considered
going
that.
through stuff when she was still in the house, but obviously, you know.
Oh, Shayna would have killed this whole night. She would have killed it. But yeah. So it's going to come down to a tie between Misha and Todrick. And at this point, I'm like, why are we still doing this? Even Julie was like, you guys, just your answers. I'm done with you all. This is taking too long.
Julie.
We're going to pull this out. Julie even said, you're going to win the head of household or something. Like her words were off. It was all off. She as well wanted to just fast forward this night.
Julie's over it.
Misha's going to win this veto. And so everything is just sealed. The fates are sealed.
I know. And it's, you know, and you can see Todd sees it and he's just like, well, at least I wore my puffy vest and my good brown slide on loafers. You know, don't got to get too fancy out there, but just fancy enough. And, you know, we got a what you talking about, Julie.
Yeah, we did.
So
I didn't even know I needed it, but I did.
Right? We did need it. And he did that for her. I thought it was sweet. And then we got a Cynthia kiss him on the cheek. Yeah. The end of Todd. I mean, but for Todd Bridges, you know, I wish he would have went against Misha and Todrick sooner. I wish he wouldn't have assumed and said for so long that he was a soldier for Misha. I wish he would have or said it, but not really meant it, and cut them way before top 5, way before top 6, and worked with Cynthia and worked with Lamar and pulled in Carson, just anything to be like, we need to take these two out. But unfortunately, they found out too late. But, you know, Todd, he won some stuff. He should be proud of himself for that. He attempted to play the game and understand it. He gave us some great moments on the feeds, some bad moments, some good moments. I mean, he did what Celebrity Big Brother players are expected to do. We thought he was just, after the first couple episodes, we're like, is he going to be just a sleeper the whole time?
Yeah. No, I mean, he actually did more than I thought he was going to do. I didn't know he was actually paying attention to the game. I wish he had woken up just a little bit earlier, because when you have a strong duo like Misha and Todrick, who, you know, Misha is dang good at comps and Todrick does know the game and is decent at strategy. So that is a duo that is going to be hard to beat. You need numbers for that. So had they not lost their own numbers earlier, we could have had a different story. But
I feel like the whole season is just this.
A lot of that. Well, Todrick is going to have to be the sole vote, though. So both of the votes tonight were just Todrick, really. And sometimes that can be good for your game, and sometimes that could be bad for your game. You never know.
Well, Todrick is, I mean, he's playing for second place, no matter what, in my opinion. No one's going to vote for him.
We know that, but I don't think he knows that.
No, and from what the house guests have told him that we're still in the house, you know, I mean, Todd Bridges left being like, oh my God, Todrick, he is killing it. He is, wow. Now, granted, Todrick, had he stuck to strategy, had he not went so grossly personal, had he not talked about people's kids, weaponized people's trauma, slut-shamed, all the stuff he did, yes, I'll give you that. It would have been so much more. I mean, it would have been so much better to watch him. We could have seen him as a good strategic Celebrity Big Brother player. Unfortunately, all that is overshadowed by his atrocious behavior. So Todd doesn't know, though, because he doesn't know everything that's been said, and he just sees it as, well, you know, sometimes they hated him, then he got him back.
Right.
And I think what he did was he used all those things of like, well, you're going to look like this or you're going to look like that, and you're sexist and you're racist and you're homophobic and you hate short shorts, and America's going to see that and your kids are going to hate it. So I don't know. So people, I think, got afraid. Chris Kirkpatrick talked about that, like he started believing what Todrick was saying about him, and was afraid that he would leave and he would be completely canceled probably. So it's been such a weird season. So weird.
It sure has been. And you do have to remember, like, they are in that little vacuum of the house. And so it is hard to step back and be like, no, you're gross. Like, you're so wrong here. You get confused and you get paranoid. So yeah, Todd does mention here that Todrick's playing the best game. He's got his vote. I think Todd might sing a different tune because Lamar and Carson are going to talk to him between now and Wednesday. I'll be interested to see how things change by Wednesday. But let's talk about this. Odds are very high that Todrick will sit in final 2. I mean, it's going to be Cynthia, Todrick, or Misha. Does Todrick have a chance with the jury at all?
No. Shayna, no. Chris Kirkpatrick held to the no. Lamar, I don't see it at all. Todd Bridges, who knows, depending on who he talks to, maybe. Carson, I think what we've seen from Carson in his apology to Shayna on social media, he realizes that he probably feels that Todrick took advantage of his friendship and his trust, knowing that to Carson, it's like, this is just a game. And we said we'd look out for each other. And I get you have to play the game and strategize, and you might have to cut me. But to make me look like an idiot and do it, and to, I think that that's something that Carson will be forgiving because he seems like a very good person. And he's always had a soft spot for Todrick, but I don't think he'll be voting for Todrick because he wanted to represent the community, having 2 LGBTQIA, members on the show. I think he didn't know the lengths Todrick would go to.
No, he was very shocked about that. And Mariah Teddy, no way, right? No way.
Oh God, Mariah, I would say would have a better chance of voting for him just on the chance that he listened to her on the feeds and they had kind of like a millennial bond, I guess, when she thought that poor Mariah. Did you see the episode on Saturday where she's crying? I love Mariah. She's just like, and they don't even believe in like climate change.
Yeah, she's like, they don't care about the environment.
They don't care about the environment, and it's just like, oh, you sweet darling. It's the age gap was, it was pretty great, but it was interesting to see how we normally see one older person go like, what the hell? So now to see a younger person have to deal with, older people in the house.
Old people. Oh my God.
Yeah. But Teddy, oh my God, Teddy can't wait to be like, guess what, Todrick, you don't have my vote, and check your exposed party on Twitter. Bye.
So yeah, I think that Cynthia might vote for him if she's not sitting next to him. And maybe Todd votes for Todrick, but I think that's it. I think that's the max that he could possibly get, are those 2 votes. So it doesn't even matter if he makes a big move to cut Misha and sit next to Cynthia.
Not for most of them. No, I would say, I just think the damage is done. I think Todrick forgot something very important, that the jury is able to see everything, and he had no jury management. So even after, like, Shayna made such an interesting comment that I think is going to haunt Todrick in this game, is that, when she knew she was going, Todrick just kept poking, kept dancing around, kept weaponizing her trauma, did all these things. And she's like, wow, dude, I'm already gone. Like, can I leave with a little bit of dignity? And doing that to people, I don't care how good your strategic game was. No one's going to reward you for that behavior. Yeah. Especially when he was walking around the house saying, integrity. He was part of the integrity crew too. We've heard integrity so much this season. Carson talks about integrity. Cynthia. So if Cynthia does get to talk to Carson a little bit, and he says, I don't know if Carson will do that, but he might be like, they lied to us. Then she'll be like, oh, no integrity, no vote.
Right. I think if they get the chance, but at this point, I don't think Cynthia will get to talk to
Yeah.
Carson, so she's not going to be fully aware, and she probably will just blindly vote for Todrick if she gets that chance. Yeah, who was the goodbye message? I forget now. There was like eviction 2 maybe that we got to see goodbye messages, and Todrick's was like very nasty. Was it
Chris
2 7?
Kirkpatrick
It
was
was
the
to Kristen?
first time we saw goodbye messages this season,
And it
and it
was just
was
unnecessarily
unnecessary.
snarky, and
Which,
I was like, he's going out of the house and then gonna vote for you, right?
I mean, that's insane. And he talks about Dan and he talks about Derek and those being some of his favorite players, and I don't really remember
I don't
them uh, not understanding the importance of jury management. I think they
He
both,
didn't actually watch those seasons, though.
right? Yeah,
He just said, "I read about the cookout on Facebook." So I don't think
the clout chase from Todrick is ridiculous, and I never thought he would have to clout chase on the cookout, but it looks like he did.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually watched the show. Okay, so, I think Misha deserves to win the show. I think she is the deserved winner. Yes? No? Do you have thoughts
Yes,
on
at this
Misha?
point, Misha win this thing, and at this point, yeah, I mean, I would be okay with that. Obviously, I mean, I do think what I've seen people say on Twitter and what I've seen even in the chat tonight. It is exciting. We have two women, two women
Yeah,
who played very different games,
yeah,
very very different. But that is exciting to see two women in a final.
uh-huh.
And Misha, again, you're not going to love everything she did, every way she played. She is aligned with Todrick. She whatever, but she wins. She
Mhm.
like Jerry O'Connell said, he kept saying she's an alpha. An alpha.
Is she an alpha or, okay, yeah, thank you, Jerry. Yeah, I think she at least played a good, decent game, she won a crap load of comps. She
She
had
did.
power constantly. You guys had 1 second to get her out, and you didn't take advantage of it, but that was really it. You didn't have a lot of shots,
I
so
saw someone on Twitter saying that they believe, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Sarah, that Misha groomed the men from day one, like fixing their collars, giving them food. And they thought that was disgusting, but I was like, I mean, she did feed them. And I remember
yeah.
like Sheena and Cynthia were mad because they're like, she made burgers for the guys and not for me. And that put Cynthia over. She was like, I would have loved to have that hamburger. And then she didn't want anything to do with Misha for a little bit. But, maybe, I don't know. I never looked at it as grooming, I guess. But she definitely had a strategy to get the men on her side. And I think the advantage she had is that a lot of these guys were very intrigued by her because they were fans into the
Yeah.
sport that she is in, the UFC. So they were
Mhm,
almost in awe of her.
mhm.
But is that her fault that like they're just, if someone's my fan, I'm going to use that to my advantage
Yeah,
if I'm in the game of Big
absolutely.
Brother.
I agree. Darren, thank you so much for the super sticker. Yeah, I don't know if she knows that that was even strategy. I think she was just very pro guy. I think she gets
Mhm.
along with guys. She beats up guys. I don't know. I think she just wanted to work with guys. And but like Chris Kirkpatrick was obviously like obsessed with her, but for a week. And then he was over it and he moved on. Todrick's the only one who really kind of stuck around.
I think Chris is a little bit longer because remember as he was gonna probably go out the door and he couldn't
Mhm.
lie to her, and he said, "Everything I've done in this game is for you. Did it all for you." Like, and I was like, "Okay, Chris, calm down. Please, Chris, no. Go
But
bye,
what
bye,
was
bye.
that
No, no, no."
comment how you tweet about, like, he said his wife is like her?
Yeah, he
So
told yeah, I forget he was talking to Shayna. He's like, "I know this is gonna sound weird or don't take," or I don't know how he phrased it, but he goes, "My wife is actually a lot like Misha." And I was like, "This explains so much." That's that kind of personality, that kind of woman is who, he's kind of drawn to. It reminds him of someone he really cares about. So that makes
yeah,
sense
yeah,
why and plus he was a huge fan of hers.
yeah.
If I came in a house and I was a big fan of someone, I would probably want to align with them too. I don't think I
Oh,
would
yeah.
be like, everything I do it for you, Brian Adams, but I would,
Right. Mhm. No, you put me in a game with Parvati, I'm not doing anything without talking to her. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
could you imagine?
Right? I
Yeah.
couldn't. Poverty, Cerie, Janelle, I would just
Oh my
case her.
god.
I'd be like, "All right, let's roll, whatever you guys want." That's why I
Yeah,
never
I
understood why everyone just didn't remember when Nicole Anthony had the opportunity to, like, be under Janelle's wing? I was like, "Nicole, take it. Take it,
how
Nicole. Please,
how
Nicole."
how do you pass that up? I
I have
can't
no idea.
imagine. I would lose
Yeah.
all my brain cells, I would forget any strategy I ever had and just align with these people that I was a fan with. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Mhm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that she knew what she was doing with that, but, it worked out, whatever she did. I think that odds are high she wins these last comps, she sits in final 2, she wins the game, and she deserves it. If
Mhm.
for some reason and I don't think she cuts Todrick, because she's not worried about Todrick, she's not worried about
No.
sitting next to him.
She knows how he is. She has to
Yeah,
sit there and listen to his stories.
yeah,
I can't believe she hasn't popped off on him. She must either really like him or like him enough and understand that, like, keeping him around, because she's not a dumb person. She's gotta, like,
right.
read the room and see that, like, people are right? I mean, maybe though, like you said, they're in that little bubble, so maybe she's just like, "He's not that bad," but she's constantly listening to
There
him.
are definitely times when she just says nothing back, and I go, "She's not agreeing, she would like to tell him to zip it,
Yeah, for sure.
but she's like, 'We're in the cage together, and I need him, to have my back.'" I don't know, wrestling, boxing words, and
She got a the
so
full Nelson, and she's not
yes.
gonna let him go in a half or whatever.
Exactly. She's just like, "We gotta get to the end here, buddy, and then I probably won't talk to you again." Um, I don't know,
Do you
but
think I don't think she's gonna once she sees or they'll double down and be really good friends with each other because people will be coming after
yeah,
her on social media as well. I don't know.
it's possible, but she lives a totally different life. Like, she's not in Hollywood,
Yep, that's true.
which is why she was not entertaining. She could not even talk to us in the DR, but she was hungry, so I get
Oh
it
my
now.
god. I yeah. Just like
I
Jerry
totally
O'Connell said, the super fan. I just always go back to our super fan, Jerry O'Connell.
Mhm.
I can't
Our
believe
Uber
Misha has to our Uber fan, yeah,
yeah.
has to lose more weight, and there's an elimination and there's an H of H and a P of V. And me and Rebecca, we love this show. I mean,
We
when
all
Jeff
love it.
Probst comes out and says,
Yep.
"You're gone," it's my favorite part of the show.
We watch it in bed together all the time. Love it so much. CBS, writes my
Sarah,
paychecks, guys.
please
So,
tell me, why do you think they picked, of all the people, Jerry O'Connell, don't get me wrong, guys, is a delightful human,
he
but
actually is.
and
He's
and he seems like it, for
yeah,
real. And I know you've worked in TV and stuff, but why couldn't they just
this
grab someone who's played before?
this is exactly what happened, you guys. This is what happened.
Okay.
He's on the talk, right? So he
Mhm.
shows up to work and the producers are like, Big Brother's on and we're gonna have some guests and we're gonna do stuff. And he was like, yeah, oh yeah, I've seen that because he saw a preview one time. He was like, yeah, I know the show. And they were like, oh, you're a fan of the show? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, because that's his job to say
Yep.
yes, CBS, yes.
Mhm.
And they were like, oh, you should come on and talk to Julie. And he was like, I am an Uber fan, love the show, and I'm gonna do it. That's why. It's just
Mhm.
that simple.
So simple.
The
So
man
that's what I thought, but I just
doesn't
thought,
turn down work.
no, he's always up, even when he's got other gigs. He's like,
Yeah.
and I'll do Wendy, and I'll do Watch What Happens Live. Now I'm over on the talk. Let me do my own little Bravo show. He
Mhm.
stays booked and busy. So
Yeah,
makes
he
sense.
likes the work. He will be on Celebrity Big Brother 4 if we have it. And you know what? Honestly, he is very entertaining. He's a funny guy, so I wouldn't hate it. But just be honest about how much you've seen of the show. Just be
He
honest.
I think he'll be bad at the game. Um,
Mhm.
he'll definitely be bad, but I was thinking, couldn't they have just got Tamar? Or is there I mean, it's not like she got fired from the talk.
Mhm.
She was on a totally different show and
Yeah,
then came
different
back
network.
and won, different
Mhm.
network. So, but maybe
They
because of
called her.
the pan
They
and
called
she
her.
just was
She
like,
said
"No,
no.
thank you."
She said, "I don't have
Okay,
time for you." So,
got it.
I think they probably called a few people,
Okay,
and they ended up with Jerry O'Connell.
got it. I knew you would know. I knew you would know.
That's
So
how that happens. Everyone's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, they called a lot of people first, guys. This was not their choice. No." All right.
Jerry walked
Well,
from Studio A to Studio B,
yeah.
and that was just the right amount.
Oh my God, honestly, yeah, probably someone backed out. Tamar backed out last minute. She was supposed to be there, and Jerry was like, "I'm walking over, guys. All
You know
good."
what? Todrick probably ruined that for us because he was talking smack about Tamar on the feeds and their friends, and she had to tweet out, "Hey, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to address this publicly about my friend. I'll talk to him when he's out of the house."
What did he say about Tamar?
He was basically saying that, she's very talented, but her talent is overshadowed by her attitude. And that's her friend.
Okay,
I mean,
first of all, he's one to talk.
well, I'm telling you, it's projection. He talked trash on his mom, who literally is trying to save him on Twitter, getting 7 likes on Team Todrick posts. I was talking about this yesterday on my channel. His poor mom is out there just trying her best. And yet he's like, she's very paranoid. I haven't gotten opportunities because of her paranoia. And she's out there getting just slammed on Twitter for his behavior. And he's slamming. He's like, sorry, mom, looks right at the camera and then continues to. It is just, it's crazy.
He's a lot.
Did you expect this? Remember when we were doing our draft and people in the chat started putting stuff when we were doing it over on my channel, and I was like, well, I just want to give him a chance because I don't know, but I thought he's gonna be so fun. I thought, he's adorable. This is gonna be great. No.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad that I still gave him a shot. Like we were hearing this stuff. You have to see it yourself. You can't just believe everything that everyone says, but now we've seen it and now we get it. Now we understand where that was coming from. And we have to agree that, yeah, he's just a mean person and that's not going to get you super, super far. And
do you think he'll change? Do you think he'll see this and go, oh crap, I am kind of a mean girl?
I'll be surprised if he sees it. I mean, I kind of inclined to think he's more of a Derek F kind of guy who's like, what are you talking about? I'm still amazing. And you know what? It's hard to change, who you are.
Yeah, because I mean, he's, it's not like he's 28. He's like closer to 40 than he is, and I think you're right, because you will see Derek Frazier still on Twitter, going, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm the victim of you guys saying awful things about me. I played a great game. I didn't sleep once. I don't even know how to sleep. So what are you talking about? And just admit it. Who cares? You got the final 2. Who cares? Just admit it. Move on. Let's move on.
I did see some people talking about Lamar's Instagram in the chat, and I don't have it. I should have screenshot it. But I just want to say it's not Lamar. He did not have his phone by the time that Instagram went out. But the person who's been running Lamar's stuff has been really funny. Like, remember when he pooed the bed? Like, they did a great post about it. So it was that person, but I still love the post. It was like, Todrick, you should have been playing checkers, not chess, or chess, not checkers. And then the caption was like, my fake friend Todrick voted me out. I still love the post, but y'all, that's not Lamar. So just saying.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, you should have played chess, not checkers, Todrick. Oh my, I just liked it.
Yeah, you did. Get it. Get it. Okay. The other thing is we might possibly get a vote if there's a tie. But I don't think there's going to be a tie. But yeah, we get a vote.
Oh, goodness. Who are you voting for, Sarah?
Well, whoever is the other person sitting next to Todrick.
Same. Crazy. That is so crazy that we are. I think that's 90% of America. I think it's just Todrick's mom, and there's one lady that is just fans him real hard on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so he'll get 2 votes for sure, which is great.
Maybe Derek F will vote for him. Kylan will vote for him, but the rest of the cook, I don't even think will vote for him.
No, they're campaigning for Lamar and Shayna.
They were so sad.
But some people were saying that they're trying to split the vote to get. I'm like, even if they split the vote, Todrick is not going to win.
Todrick's not somebody else. Yeah, if we're talking about America's Favorite House Guests, it's going to be
House Guests.
Yeah, it's going to be Shayna or Carson. Period. Like no one else is even in that.
Lamar, I think, is in it for sure.
You think Lamar's in it?
Yes, I've seen so much Lamar love. Yes.
Well, that's great. I love Lamar.
I think it'll be Lamar and Shayna. I think Carson is wonderful, but I think the votes, he'll have the people that just, are overall fans of him for sure. But I think people, with that whole Cynthia thing, I think had that not happened, that they turned on Shayna, Carson would have been hands down, would have gotten it. But I don't think Carson's if there's a top 3, he'll be in top 3. But it'll come down to Shayna and Lamar, I think, at this point, from what I've seen online. I mean, Lammy just had too many. I mean, people had threads of the best of Lammy. They didn't have threads of the best of Carson, like on Twitter. And those are the people that vote. And with Shayna, she's that person that was done wrong. She was really trying to play the game. And she was just so entertaining to watch as well. So either of those two, I think, are the most deserving for America's favorites. I've been voting Shayna. Who have you been
I've been voting Shayna for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shayna. All day long, I want Shayna.
Early on, I would think it would have been Carson for sure.
Yeah, I was prepared to vote for Carson. He was the only person who entertained us in the DR. He really turned out to be the only entertainment. Lamar turned out to be unintentional entertainment.
Yeah.
And actually some heart. So I'm all for Lamar votes. Absolutely. But Shayna's getting all of my votes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I gave it to Shayna too.
All right. Let's say Todrick and Misha are at final 2 and the vote is tied. Julie's going to then say, America, do something really, really quick and vote for who you break the tie. And then we will all get our say that it's Misha.
Mm-hmm. I don't think, I mean, who's going to vote?
It's not going to be a tie. Yeah.
It's not. We're not going to see it. We're going to see a landslide. We're going to see
Even if it's Cynthia, though, what if Todrick's sitting next to Cynthia? Let's say Todrick makes the big move and he cuts Misha. He did it. He's sitting next to Cynthia.
That would be epic.
Yeah.
I would have a little respect for that move only, but I still wouldn't vote for him. I think Cynthia would still get Teddy. Cynthia still gets Shayna. Yeah, Cynthia still gets Shayna for sure after what he said. Yeah. Cynthia gets Carson, obviously. Cynthia gets, who knows, Todd Bridges could vote Carson still, or vote, vote Todrick still. Lamar votes Cynthia. So no matter what. I don't see Todrick getting out of this. And it's all Todrick's fault. And he could have. He could have.
There's a thing called jury management. It's real. And if America gets the vote, we watched it all. So that's jury management as well.
I mean, it's it's unfortunate because the most unfortunate about all this is it didn't have to happen this way. It's a game. It just didn't have to go this nasty and personal.
No. And all the other people who can do it without going nasty and personal just show that it is possible. Because he'll come out and he'll be like, oh, you become a crazy person when you're in the house. I didn't mean it, and it's like, but all these other people were able to do it. So there is a difference.
Yeah. There's just a point where you can just go too far, and he continued to go farther and then dig more. And I was hoping that I wouldn't have to have these conversations on live. I was hoping that we wouldn't be sitting here saying that. There would be like maybe an unproblematic season, because it's okay with shading people, dragging people a little bit, but this is this is not that show where we want to see people really disparaged. I think there are reality shows like that, but Big Brother's not one of them. Survivor is not one of them.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah. No.
Because if you look at, you had, like back in the day, I know there's a lot of people on Twitter, they're like, oh, you guys, you say you want old school Big Brother, but you couldn't handle it. It's like, no. And then they use the Bo and Janelle example. It's like Bo and Janelle were both wasted off tequila. They had this relationship where they both came at each other equally and was like, you have polyester hair, you date older men, and it was so silly and ridiculous, but they were on the same level with it. With Todrick, he went low when people were like, please don't do that. And then he went lower. Yeah. So it was just different. Yeah, it's just him.
Can you see our draft? Try to make it big here. You were doing very well, but Cynthia has been nominated a couple times, and so her points went down.
Mm.
And Ina, she's got Todrick, so I think she's still in it.
Jess,
Jess lost both of her
Sarah.
kids. It's
Oh,
looking good for me.
holy shit. That's amazing.
Nisha had a very good night points wise.
She did. She
She
really
did.
did. She
Because we
wins
were all
everything.
very close going into tonight.
The poor
And
lean team. Me and the lean team were the worst.
Lean team had a hard night. They lost Lamar and Todd
Mm.
tonight.
I thought maybe
Yep.
Todd could pull it out and stay.
Yep. We were rooting for it. We were really, really rooting for it. Well, what I'm taking away from the season is that I am a Shayna Moakler and Lamar stan from henceforth. I will
Me too.
follow them. I don't follow a lot of celebrities, but I now follow Shayna on
Me
Instagram.
too. I like to see Shayna get people to see her in a different light because people only knew her from Meet the Barkers. People only knew her. Obviously, if you follow pageant stuff, you would know of her, but mostly from Meet the Barkers, and then the little bit of like TMZ stuff, Kardashian, because Travis Barker, her ex-husband, is now engaged to Kourtney Kardashian, and she admitted quite a few times that she said things about the Kardashians and she feels ashamed about it. So it's nice to be able to. I think this was good for her because I think she felt kind of maybe in her ex's shadows because she had Oscar De La Hoya as the ex, and then Travis Barker, and so yeah, and she's one of those people who she through she's
Oscar
been.
De La Hoya? Holy moly. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
I mean, she had a daughter with him, and then she has 2 kids with Travis
Wow.
Barker. I used to watch Meet the Barkers. She got a lot of crap because she spent a lot of time in bed watching TV, but look at her now. She was probably binging Big Brother, and
Yep.
she got on Celebrity Big Brother, but it could have been a lot of things. She was having babies. We don't
Yeah.
know their situation at the time, and she was young, and they were partying and whatever. But
Right.
it's kind of nice to see that, and it's nice to see another side of Lamar because we followed him with his quick
Yes.
marriage with Chloe. We followed him when he was at that bunny ranch. We followed him when he almost died. So
Yeah.
now to see this, it's like really wonderful to be like, look
Yeah.
at you, Lammy, go get it. And Todd Bridges, I mean, that's what I watch Celebrity for, is to kind of see these
Yeah.
comeback stories. You're not going to get Gwyneth Paltrow in there until she has to go to rehab,
Yeah.
But I don't want to hate on this season because I want there to be another one, Sarah. I'm terrified CBS is going to take this from us.
Yeah.
And I
I
need
mean,
it.
they took it from us and we had such a good one. Season 2 was so
So
good,
good.
and then they canceled it and then like randomly brought it back. So yeah, I have no idea if we're gonna get it again or not. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. I am happy to see Todd Bridges have a little bump in his career or life. And honestly, Chris Kirkpatrick, the NSYNCer I didn't know, now I know.
Yeah.
And he's a pretty decent dude. So these are good
And he
things.
founded the group. I'd never heard that story. I never paid
Right? That
again.
story was impressive.
I went to 2 NSYNC concerts in my life in my late teens, early 20s. And I'll tell you, he was the one. They flew over us on one of them, the audience, and I was reaching for Lance's shoe and
Oh,
JC's shoe,
yeah.
Justin's shoe, and then Chris came by and I was like, I'm good. It just that he
You like
wasn't
this one?
I was like, I know there's a dad one.
Yeah. He really was the dad. He was already in his 20s and he was like, "Hey, you kids,
He was
come join my band."
24 when he started that. It's
I had
crazy.
no idea.
And then learning
Like,
about Mariah Nagasu, I loved Mariah. I don't care. I
mhm.
loved her. I found her to be delightful, and she had
Yeah.
her quirks, and she did have, struggles in the house, but I found that very relatable. And Chris Kattan, I mean, it was great.
Oh, sweet Catan. Like, what? Oh my God.
Gosh.
What a journey, a roller coaster we've been on this season, and it's only been
Right?
20 something days.
Do you think they'll ever bring the other Big Brother back?
OTT.
Yeah.
Let's do it, please. I'd much prefer it.
What was the deal? They just were like, nah, we don't want to put that much production into something just online, or what?
Yeah, they were, like, giving online a shot when, like, it wasn't even Paramount Plus then, it was, like, CBS All Access back then, and it was like, "Let's bump up our online stuff, but it's so much, it's just as much work as the summer. And I think that they're like, we put all this work in the summer and then we need to stop. So I don't know if we're going to get it back.
It would be great because it's a different climate now with online shows, and like you said, with Paramount Plus
Yeah.
and stuff, it's perfect for it. And now they put all the BB cans in all the BB Australia. So I started BB Can 1 because I didn't start BB Can until season 7, till the Pretty Boys.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I was
on
going to ask
season 1.
you, what am I supposed to watch? I think I was told 2 and 5.
Well, I would say watch 1 because so far I'm
really?
loving it, and you gotta get to know Gary. You gotta get to know Gare Bear and Dan Giesling. That's, I think, when Dan was kind of playing with maybe becoming something in the Big Brother community on one of the networks, like commentary. And I will tell you, episode 2, Sarah, Dan Giesling shows up. Arissa Cox says, "We have Dan Giesling just off of BB14, the winner of BB10, second place BB14. We're going to talk to him here live during at the end of the second episode." And Dan came in full little, you remember when Dan had his, he kind of does kind of still, but he had that high just in the front gelled. He came in classic Dan, maybe some True Religions, a button-up shirt, just aggressively high-fiving everybody in the audience. Didn't know when to hold the mic up to his mouth. It was adorable.
Love it. It's amazing.
And just was like overly like, right? Arissa's the best, right? And his eyes, it was, Chell watched it with me, and he doesn't know a ton about Big Brother, but he was like, this is the best thing ever. And he comes back throughout the season for commentary.
What?
Yeah.
So like this was right after 14 or something?
Yes, right after 14.
Okay, timing. Okay.
And they literally flew him in for like one question, but then he comes back later. But I was like, okay, interesting.
All right.
And it was cool to see how BB Can was like, you know, our neighbors to the south have been doing this for 14 seasons. Now it's our turn. And I was like, yes, Arissa. And look at where we are now with BB Can. It's amazing. And Arissa Cox is, you know, arguably the best Big Brother host out there, as well as an executive producer, and so invested in her show. I wish we had that here in the States, you know?
Oh yeah. She's the best. And Canada is like, if not better than the US, they're right there.
It's dang good, you guys.
It's
dang good.
Really, really good. And it starts on the 2nd. You guys get ready. Get your bodies.
We have like no time to rest.
No, they're like, get those podcasters busy. Don't give them a day off. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll be here. That's what's happening.
We'll have to collab. Cross collabs.
Yes, cross collab. We'll do it.
Are we doing a draft for BB Can?
Oh my God, sure.
Let's do it. I mean, it was so easy for me because you do all the numbers, and I just, I'll host. You can host if you want. I'll let you pick which one you want, but I definitely can't do the numbers.
The numbers are all set. It's a spreadsheet. We just have to plug things in and we're good to go. Yeah. So we should probably have a cast this end of this week, right? Because that's a week away. They'll go into sequester. They'll be in the house.
I think like or maybe Thursday, because that'll be after the finale. Maybe Arissa, since she follows US, she'll wait.
Yeah.
You know, for us.
Like that.
Yep.
That'll be exciting. Absolutely. And then obviously Survivor. You're into Survivor now.
And I got Chell into it, my husband into it. And oh my God. Yes. We're excited. Another season already. Like, what a treat.
If anyone is on Paramount Plus catching up on old Big Brother Australia, what season did we do? Okay.
Which one was it?
There's a season that Joleen and I covered together. So if you watch it, then go see our streams.
Was it 8?
Feels like a good number. Was it 8?
I don't know.
You guys, you can find the videos. You're good.
We're the worst.
We'll investigate.
That was fun when we did that.
It sure was.
It was so different from our Big Brother. So it was a nice like palate cleanser.
Yeah, it was really fun. I'm glad that we did that together. And now everyone can have that whenever you catch up on BB Can Australia.
Yeah, Nerdtainment.
Yeah. Well, you guys in the chat are amazing and awesome. Thank you for joining us. And Joleen, oh my God, I'm so excited to have you back.
I miss you, friend.
Miss you. I miss you so much.
No, I miss you too. I liked when we lived closer to each other, but again, one day.
It'll happen, you guys. It
Mhm.
will. All right. Everyone knows Joleen's channel. I have it linked below. If you don't, make sure you're subbed over there, subbed over here, like all the videos. And I'll see you guys live here with David on Wednesday night for the finale. And you, I am assuming, are going to be live after the finale as well. Yes?
Yes, live after the finale. Excited for it.
Yes. All right, you guys. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.